Audrey Hepburn is remembered as one of the most graceful and beloved actresses in Hollywood history. Known for her elegance, kindness, and unforgettable performances in films like Breakfast at Tiffany's and Roman Holiday, she seemed to embody warmth both on and off the screen. But behind that gentle image, there was a story that remained hidden for decades, a quiet tension that only years later began to make sense. At the height of her fame, Audrey Hepburn worked alongside many talented individuals, building relationships that shaped her career. Yet not every connection was as harmonious as it appeared. There was one particular figure in her life, someone she reportedly struggled to connect with, that created an undercurrent of discomfort few people noticed at the time. To the public, everything seemed perfectly composed. Hollywood in that era was built on carefully crafted images, and stars were expected to maintain professionalism no matter what was happening behind the scenes. Audrey, known for her discipline and poise, handled these situations with the same grace she showed in her performances. She rarely spoke openly about conflicts, choosing instead to focus on her work and maintain her reputation. It wasn't until many years later that more context began to emerge. What once seemed like distance or coldness was, in reality, rooted in deeper differences in personality, working styles, and personal values. In some cases, it may have also reflected the pressures of the industry itself, where long hours, high expectations, and creative disagreements could quietly strain relationships. What makes this story so intriguing is not just the idea of conflict, but the contrast it reveals. Audrey Hepburn, often seen as the embodiment of kindness, was still human, capable of strong feelings, personal boundaries, and difficult emotions. It reminds us that even the most admired figures are not immune to tension or disagreement. In the end, this revelation doesn't diminish her legacy, it deepens it. It shows that behind the elegance and charm was a real person navigating complex relationships in a demanding world. And sometimes, the stories we learn decades later don't change how we see someone, they help us understand them more completely.